Hey, all my Virgo friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today to talk about your February 2024 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology in the Pacific time zone. And when I talk about the house structure, I'm basing that on Virgo rising. This is also applicable to Virgo moon and Virgo suns. And if you have 3 or more personal planets in the sign of Virgo, this video is absolutely applicable to you. So let's just jump right in where we see Pluto here at 0 degrees of Aquarius. We had a taste of this energy in 2023, and now we're going to experience this transit for the next 20 years. This is the sign of revolution. It's the sign of innovation. It's the sign of space and astrology and of science. It also represents the human collective. So I think what we are going to experience with Pluto here in Aquarius is feeling this, looking at the bigger picture of things, looking at things and our lives from a bigger picture versus just sort of working towards our week. You know, everybody's working for the weekend, our everyday activities. Mercury had quite a time as it's been traveling with Mars, re-examining its beliefs while it was in Sagittarius. And now, while it's been in Capricorn, it's really wanting to put in the emotional and spiritual structure in a brave way to support the thoughts and the things that are going to move your future forward. We see Venus here in Capricorn, and it's not her sexiest position, but it is a position where she's very wanting to build her own sense of security, using her talents and her skills in a way that is visible in the material world. So this transit's very, very powerful. And Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which means it is a honored guest. The red carpet has been rolled out. You know, the fine china has been put on the table. And Mars in this place can actually sort of settle into the hero energy here rather than feeling that warrior energy. So I think this is a really powerful time for Virgo, your ruling planet Mercury, to really, you know, be brave in your thoughts about the version of yourself that you have been striving for and are now getting ready to assimilate into your everyday activities. Because when our dreams start to come true, it can be a whole new level of nerves and worry. So I think that's really important. We will move to the 5th, where we will see Mercury move into Aquarius, making a conjunction to Pluto. And Aquarius is your 6th house of work. So again, this is applying your skills. Here's Venus, my skills. This is Mars, my bravery, into really renovating my life in a way that supports where I want to go versus, you know, just trying to get that credit card bill paid. I think this has been going on for quite some time, and I think it's an exciting time for you. We will see, let's see, we're going to see us go into a new moon on the 9th. Pardon my stuttering. I was looking at my notes. And that new moon will be at the 20th degree. Let me get the exact time in there, which is going to be 2:59 p.m. in the Pacific. And I think this is very significant because this is one of 4 or 5. I believe there was 2 in 2023, and then we're going to see 3 consecutive all the way into March, new moons at the 20th degree. That 20th degree is the scorpionic degree. It is a degree where we have an opportunity to really harness our own power and co-creation, where we can look at where we have given up our power in some ways, and now we're able to through this awareness, we can make a choice that supports a new version of ourselves. And again, when we're planting, a new moon is planting the seeds in the darkest phase of the moon. And this new moon is making a very favorable aspect to the South Node. This is about where we're egoless in our sense of cooperation that disempowers us, where we understand on some intuitive and spiritual level that when we support our own individual happiness, our own individual desires, our own individual creation, that we actually are supporting and loving those around us. Now, we also see a square to Uranus. The square to Uranus is can very much trigger a family history, an idea of, Taurus itself rules the voice, it rules my skills, it rules planting and growing, but it also rules my family history, how my history imprinted my sense of self-worth and confidence. So here, I think there could be literally an epiphany. We see this is at the 19th degree, which is the Libra degree. And this may be where you start to think outside the box and you're like, if I'm a happier person. I'm coming home happier. I'm smiling more than when I'm just, doing what is expected of me, because this South Node is at the Leo degree. And that degree is going to ask me to stretch for what I want. This is the degree of self-expression, of playfulness, of enjoyment. And I think this 20-degree new moon in Aquarius wants to experience that in the workplace, enjoying and finding fun within my work environment. Again, Aquarius is your 6th house. Taurus is your 9th house of beliefs. It's also the house that represents publishing. It represents marketing, branding, because the 9th house is naturally Sagittarius. So we have a layer of that on top of the Taurian layer. Let's go on to, we're here. Let's go to the 13th. That's when we're going to see Mars enter Aquarius. So now we have Mars making its conjunction with Pluto. This can be quite a busy and volatile day, honestly. It could feel aggressive, feel impatient. It could feel, there used to be this saying, you can take this job, blah, blah, blah. That could be a day here where that happens, or where you're at least feeling that way. And I don't know if you'll act it out, but there is the possibility that it may actually root you into your own personal endeavor even more than ever before. I personally experienced a frustration within my everyday job that launched me into being Teri and an entrepreneur. So while it wasn't easy, it was extremely beneficial as time went on. So I just want to encourage that awareness. I'm not telling you to all quit your jobs. Okay. We also see Venus here is going to grow. She's going to move into Aquarius in any minute. And as she does that, she's going to become conjunct with Pluto. And Venus and Pluto is kind of funky because Venus is in fall in Scorpio. So she feels a little out of control. She can feel very vulnerable to other people's money and power. She can lose her sense of self-confidence. She can also make up for it by being overly promiscuous. So here, as she moves from this very sort of pent-up energy into this growing conjunction, not only here with Pluto, but Mars is not far away. It's really asking for her to look at herself in a way that brings her value to the forefront, her value to herself, her value to her, honoring her creativity. We see a sextile to Neptune here. And while right now in this moment at this time, we see a square to the moon will move very quickly. So you'll have this sort of feeling that maybe, should I or shouldn't I fight for myself? Is this worth it or isn't it worth it? Aries is your 8th house of transformation, and being a earth sign by nature, being a sign that represents slavery. It represents being of service to other people. That's both employers and employees. So this could create a tension and a little bit of conflict. But I also think that this is where the rubber meets the road in your willingness to focus in on what it is you want versus what you fear. I think that that's really important, because that's when the Aquarian energy can really liberate you, bring your dreams to the forefront. The Aquarius house by nature is a house that ripens over time. It's co-ruled by Saturn. So we're going to see this opportunity for abundance, for reward, for dreams as we endure through the emotional roller coaster ride of our own value. I think that's super important. There's also the opportunity. There could be on a world stage, we could see something going on with the economy. I don't know what country. I don't want to really go there, but I venture to say there could be a little topsy-turviness in that regard. So we'll just leave that there. All right, let's go to the 18th. And I didn't mention it earlier, but this February is a leap year, so we get an extra day. The 18th, we see Venus and Mars are now traveling together. And, you know, here in Aquarius, it's rather interesting because for me, Venus is also, you know, she's focused on bigger things. She's focused on her future. Mars is asking for brave action. You know, could this end up being a little bit, you know, this whole Pluto conjunction on a mundane level could call for arguments, disruptions, even deaths of relationships, depending upon what you have in your natal chart in the house of Aquarius. Again, this is your 6th house of work. So there could be disruptions on the work front, but just be mindful, because you have an opportunity to really liberate yourself. And most liberations happen through some sort of chaos in the beginning. So be gentle with yourself. By the way, this conjunction between Mars and Venus will be exact at 5 degrees between the 20th and the 22nd of February. But what I'm going to do now is go to the 23rd, when Mercury will move into Pisces. Now, again, this is a time where Mercury is in fall. Mercury rules Virgo, your 1st house. And, you know, waters are murky here in Pisces. But I also want to say this, because the sign of Pisces being so compassionate and so empathetic, on some level, that constant giving up of itself is I believe it's a karmic opportunity to see how, when I allow myself to focus on my creativity, on my dreams, on my Pisces rules dance, song, it rules poetry, it rules filmography and photography. There's so many things. Venus is exalted in Pisces. So Venus, you know, rules beauty and makeup. And there's so many things in this house that can flourish in the material world, but sometimes it gets lost. It sort of washes away. And Mercury here can, on a mundane level, feel confused, but it can also very much, as a result of what you've garnished over here with the transit of Mars and Venus in Aquarius, very much start to anchor in a sense of structure, because here Saturn's here, a sense of trusting your own creativity as you birth more and more of your vulnerable, authentic self into the world. And here's the writer, the speaker, the teacher. So I think this is super powerful for you, Virgo, because being in fall is where there's a sense of feeling uneasy. You know, there's a sense of feeling like, you know, it's basically the fish out of water. But again, Mercury is ruling, you know, rules communication. So as it runs around the zodiac, it's other people are looking to it to provide something they need. And in this place, this is about expressing your creativity. And it's really not about what their needs are, because your audience will find its natural place. So I think that's really important. And let's go to the 24th, where we will have a full moon in Virgo. Let me get the time here, which is 4:30 a.m. And I think this could really bring an illumination for you of what you want, of what you're willing to do to put structure. And I want to offer it this way. It's not hard for you to put structure in, but it is hard for you to prioritize yourself, Virgo. And so that's why I really want to emphasize the 5th degree of Leo, having courage of the heart, creativity. The sign of Leo is about entertainment, fun, joy, and it's a natural place where the human needs balance. And often it's the first place that gets cut in times of stress or in times of financial hardship, or when we anticipate hardship on a global level or a world stage or in our community. So I think continuing to stay the course and utilizing Mars and Venus's transit through Aquarius, again, this can be very polarizing. It can be liberating, and yet it could be very argumentative and uncomfortable depending upon your level of awareness. So just want to bring that up. Okay, we also are going to see on this a square. Is it from the moon? No, I think it's from the sun. Let me back up. Oh, Venus and Mars, excuse me. Venus and Mars are continuing to create a square with Jupiter. And this is where I feel like that square is that tense moment of, will I be able to make money? Will I be able to get my business started? Will I be able to move the story forward? And I really think that this is a call of faith. This is a call of sort of, if you get nervous in your head, because of course Mercury is going to make you a thinker, Virgo, then allowing yourself either a mobile meditation, letting your body work some of it out, and then just sort of going back to what I would say easy steps, so you don't try to swallow all of this energy of Jupiter at one time. On this, as this conjunction, or I'm sorry, as this square is growing, there's this, am I brave enough? Do I have the skills enough? Venus naturally rules Taurus, and yet that tension is like, Virgo's is going to want to see it in the material world to believe it. And I think this is a little bit of a moment where your patience with that material manifestation will give you great benefit as we move further and further into the year. All right, now I'm going to move this back to noon. And I'm going to go to the 28th. And on the 28th, we see the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn all together here in Pisces, with the Sun and Saturn at 9 degrees. Again, this is just emphasizing and giving more energy to this idea that structure, both emotionally as well as physically, is required to birth your dream, to birth your creativity. And I think here that we also see Mercury's at the 10th degree, which is the Capricorn degree. So I don't want to make Mercury completely underwater in its thought process, because this could also be a time as Mercury approaches Neptune where you could have a flood of ideas. And because you've been putting structure in whatever you've been worrying about in the way of making money or birthing this into the material world has taken a back seat, and the joy of your endeavor, the joy of your creativity has started to supersede the worry of, will the endeavor be valuable to the audience. That's the way I want to put it. Now we also see a growing square between Venus and Mars over here, with Uranus and Jupiter. This is just emphasizing more and more, am I willing to liberate myself? Am I willing to feel a little alien? Am I willing to put myself out there? Very much Aquarius rules the World Wide Web. There are plenty of platforms to birth yourself on for all sorts of reasons. There's a woman named Mama Tot, Ophelia, I believe is her real name, and she's on TikTok. She started during the pandemic just on a whim, and she's got 3 years later 12 million followers. So you really don't know what can happen when you're willing to kind of get outside of the structure that you know and stretch for the structure that you want to live. Okay, I think that's it for February for my Virgos. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to book a reading with me, I'm available both for an astrology analysis as well as angel readings. Please join me Sunday mornings live at 11 a.m. Pacific time, where we get the angel's advice and we draw a tarot card and do an angel spread for each one of the signs to traverse, getting the angel's advice for traversing the week ahead's transits. Thank you so much for my putting up with my stuttering. I'm going to go get myself some lunch right now so I have a clearer brain. Thank you, Virgo. Have a wonderful, wonderful February. And please hit that like button, share, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when new content's coming out. All right, I'll see you soon. Peace.